see your face. For he that waits I pray. I know the Lord. Any better do the God. He will roll the sea away. Then forward still this Jehovah will. Though the billows dash and sway, with a concrete tread we will push ahead and roll the sea away. Look here now, man. Sickness come, he will roll away. He comes, sickness he roll the sea away. He roll the sickness roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. Roll all the sickness away. All of the bill they repair. Roll the sea away. 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 Roll the then forward still this Jehovah will blow the billows dash and spray. With a concrete tread we will push ahead and roll the sea. One more time. Then forward still this Jehovah will blow the billows dash and spray. With a concrete tread we will push ahead and roll. One more time. Lord, he roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. Roll the sea away. Problem come, he roll it up. Sickness come, he roll it up. All the problem, he roll it up. All the problem come, he roll. Lord Jesus, he roll. Lord Jesus, he roll. Somebody else say, he roll. Jordan roll. Roll. Jordan roll. Oh yeah. Jordan roll. And do thy work thyself. Me say roll. Jordan roll. Oh, Jordan roll. To heaven when I die, we go hear the Jordan roll. Take it up. He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. All of the problem roll up. All of the sickness roll up. All of the bill them roll up. Everything problem. Yeah. He rolled. Hallelujah. Glory. Thank you, Jesus. Whatever you face this week, forward still. Whatever mountains come in your way, forward still. Yeah. Whatever, if you book your tour, forward still. Yeah. Disappointment come, forward still. Yeah. Woo. And if another pastor fall, forward still. After the pastor we are follow. We obey with pastor, but we are follow Jesus. Forward still. Young people, walk holy, make the right decisions, walk right, walk holy, Ramandosia, Rakandarabasiandarabosha, walk holy, forward still, it's Jehovah's will, though the billows dash and sway. With a concrete
This side view unique, religious, masterpiece of Jesus in robe, red sash and crown of thorns, walking in desert is a great addition to any room in your home or office. We also have Jesus Christ praying to God with hand gesture over black background wearing grey and dark red robe. These unique large size 11 by 17 inches unframed masterpiece easy to hang, which makes a great statement piece that will impress anyone who sees it. Whether you're looking to add some religious inspiration to your space or simply wants to enhance your wall with these graphics of Jesus, these wall deco are perfect gifts for your family and friends. To order Jesus graphics of your choice, our graphics of Jesus are sold on Amazon.com. Search for Praying Jesus Wall Art. You can also visit the M&M's Creative Printing Storefront on Amazon. Remember products link in description.
Yo, get used to me. You know, it's a quote in this, aka Cantilever Boss. Along with me, I join them. Star King, high grade, presents 3-in-1 Earth Day celebration. You know, the 30th of the month called March. You know, right at Poppy, you know, at Tavern Day, you know, right at the community center. Music by DJ Platinum, DJ Kelly, One Sky Views. You know, there's some come to the one they go wicked, the one they go bad, you know, there's some come in. Admission free. Add it up now.
Good night, Jamaica. Good night to the globe. Good night to the diaspora. Good night to everyone listening to me near and far. Last night was a night. Last night was a night, the night where people blood pressure raise up, where people with diabetic problem probably have blood sugar high. Last night was a night where man taught them gut and then have to withdraw a statement by a morning. But it was a night, Jamaica, we can't forget in the life of the Jamaica Labour Party. It was a night. Last night wasn't a night. Wasn't last night a night, Jamaica, with the whole honest, only never laugh. Hey, about 2 o'clock this morning, me go to bed to stop read the message them what people are sending me. About 2 o'clock, me go to my bed this morning, the amount of people are sending me message and me I read them. Oh, Jesus. And I like that a lot of students tuned into class yesterday night. I hope we will have the same amount of persons tuning in tonight or even more as we reach our target for this week of 30,000. We're at 25,500. So in 1 week, we have garnered almost 5,000 new followers. Because last week, we were at 20,000. No, last week we were at 20,000, and to know that we have almost 5,000 new followers. I said to you all, it's a fast-growing channel, and let us keep it like that. I want to say congratulations to Miss Kitty. Put up her picture with her baby. Congratulations to Sister Kitty. Congratulations to Sister Kitty. She had her baby on the 5th. Today is what, the 6th? So she had her baby yesterday. Yesterday, she had her baby. So congratulations to Miss Kitty. She had her daughter yesterday. But you see, Jamaica, one thing I don't like, you know, I only know me have to talk my truth. And when Miss Kitty married? Last year, October. When I think I could go through, man. If she married last year, October, we know they're March now. She married last year, October, Courtney. Do the math. How much months baby take for come? No, 9 months.
7 months. Premature 7 months, or 9 months. Or 8 months. So 7 months to 9 months. So,
but if the marriage was in October, I could do the maths now. October, November, December. January, February, March. So the baby man premature.
I think so.
So, you know what I'm not talking no mix up tonight, you know, but this serious. So students don't do the maths. Who do the maths with me now, man? Me still a say congratulations.
The baby is how much now?
Eh?
The baby is how much now?
The baby just born.
The baby just born now.
Today, yesterday.
So 2 babies she have now.
No, our first
Oh,
child.
the first child is okay. It's a March born baby. Leave the baby alone.
Me nah say nothing no more. Me nah say nothing no more. Me nah say nothing no more.
March, leave the
Me
baby
nah
alone.
say nothing more. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Cause me nah have luck.
March born, leave the baby alone.
Me, Kwani, where you come for me so strong for?
Because I'm March, the baby born. I'm a born March.
And what is for me? You know what, Jamaica? Why not call me so early in the show? What is the problem?
June.
Lord Jesus, lady, me no know it can't be that she's pregnant from June. You stop it now, man. Lord Jesus. Oh,
July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. From July, she breed.
oh, me no know it, girl, lady. Leave it alone. Me just say congratulations. But me just say, you know what I'm saying? Here's the hypocrisy of it. A lot of people in this country condemn people when them go hurry and marry when they have young belly pan them. You know that's in the church, don't it? A lot of people condemn when unmarried are in the church, or when you're pregnant before. What the world I know call me for? But my point is Jamaica. Everybody arms and gloves up and said this and that. But the societal hypocrisy in this country, some people can do some things and get through with it. And it is called norm. But a bastard is, you know, me shut them out. And a bastard pick the car, the wedlock did come. What a thing. It's double standard. Is that what me I get at, you know? Is this double standardness? Is it double standard this me I talk about? But me know no fan over here. Mama Kitty fan. Me like her sometime. I don't really like her all the time. But congratulations to the baby. Let me leave it alone. You understand? I could congratulate the baby and pray that the baby have a... When Miss Winnie she called me for. Miss Winnie, what is your problem? Me not talk about Mark Golding. What is your problem?
Listen to me. A lot of us born out of wedlock. Right? Our child born in wedlock. Leave the child alone. Leave it alone. There's things you should always listen to your producer. Leave it alone.
So when you come back now, Miss Winnie, you know, say, every time Miss Winnie, you know, me gonna stop to you call Miss Winnie. Me gonna stop to call me. Just say me I leave it alone and move on, and you are called about the same thing.
But it's because you started, Andre. Go on, man. You started. Leave the baby. Congratulations.
Me say congratulations to the baby, but you know what happened to me, Miss Winnie? No fan don't like face the facts. No fan don't like face the facts. It's
born out of wedlock.
All right, Miss Winnie, me born out of wedlock too. Me born out of wedlock. The argument done, Miss Winnie, the argument done. All right? Bless you.
At least she married.
What is your problem now? Hear the PNP. What is your problem now? Yes.
I respect you so much. Leave that alone, Andre. Leave that alone and do something. It's life. Welcome the life and move on and leave it alone.
All right, Mr. Me, I leave it alone. No, not call off my phone for come down me far.
Never bring it up. You should never bring it up. It's a little angel that God bless in the world.
All right, I hear you. You see, all them stay, but make it was somebody else speak me. Them would have taken and run with the argument, you know.
Baby, innocent. No.
All right, I done the argument. I done. Them not see the point where me I make, you know. Them not see the point where me I make. Good night. Let me go start the class. Jamaica, you not see the point where me I make. But let me leave it alone. Let me leave it alone. Congratulations to her.
Hello.
Who this now? Hello?
real talk, yeah, my country, because I know time she lick out on some little young girl.
Yeah, them always lick out and go on like them is the best of the best and the cream of the crop.
When congratulations to the
Me,
baby.
yeah, me I say congratulations to the baby. But you see how them live them life? Them go on like them perfect Courtney.
Andre, you know what I say?
Let me move on your ear.
Enough time she lick out from people who have baby out of wedlock. I say no matter broke pocket man, breed them or whatever. Enough double standards she go on.
Pay double standards. Are the double standards me a talk about?
And she talk about woman who breed in a church without married or something too.
Make them go on and make it stay and make we move on with the class. You hear?
Alright.
Jamaica is what is spamming night. Hello, good night.
Andre, good night.
Yes.
All of my hypocrite. Remember, she's saying when this is fluffy to the world, and she gonna lose the weight. So it's a double standard. You're not talking about the baby.
I'm not talking about the child, but them not seeing the point. I'm saying congratulations.
You're not talking about the baby because you said congratulations on the birth, but you're talking about the fact she loves to criticize everybody. We're talking about in wedlock, out of wedlock. She's the same one that says fluffy to the world, and she go up on a big dirty diet.
You know what? You know what? No matter make them start over here for me night, because you know me now block.
So make them go and chat them a hypocrite.
Yeah, but it's double standard me are talking about. Because if it was anybody else who this happened to you that year, them talk the things them what them talk about. But you see me I stand my ground. Me I stand my ground. But make sure move on in Jesus' name. Me wish the baby all the best. Is a beautiful baby girl to come out. But the double standard in this country must stop. God bless you.
No make them off your head.
My final call for the night. Hello, good night.
Andre.
Yes, good night.
Good night, Andre. Remember, so she did a tummy tuck, so she have that belly from way in June. So when you do the tummy tuck, the belly now go show till the belly get big.
Oh.
So when time our belly starts show, it's soon like 5 months, 6 months down the line.
Okay. Well, I don't know about tummy tuck concern, my darling. All I am saying is that we have had a history in this country of societal hypocrisy. Over the years,
yes, I understand.
People have born with their child.
You don't say, but she as well licking out on young girls and whatever. Yes, we already said congratulations, but people are missing the point that you are talking about, the double standard. They're missing the point because she has really called both one of it and picnic for this and picnic for that. You understand? But we love her sometimes because sometimes she speaks some truth.
Yeah, man, she's a good article person, and I commend her for her ability to speak. Me not talk about that, but you know what? Let me move on with the class. All right?
All right.
God bless you. Can I get a breaking news, please? Lord Jesus, what is power night? Yes, Jamaica, tonight. I've gathered that the Mayor of Kingston, Mr. Swaby, who was to be sworn in tomorrow as mayor, has been postponed. Not sure what's the reason for the postponement of his thing. But the point is, there's been a postponement of the swearing in of Mayor Andrew Swaby tomorrow. Yes, Jamaica, you know that Mayor Swaby was to be sworn in tomorrow at 10 o'clock at the KCNC But they have now said it has been postponed. I gather it possibly could have something to do with what Mr. Ennis has done. But you remember what Mr. Ennis did last night? Let's just play what Mr. Ennis did last night. You remember what Mr. Ennis did?
Good afternoon, information media. I just want you all to know that I have walked away from the Jamaica Labour Party. I've walked away from the KSAMC. I won't be going down there to be sworn in. I have to protect my dignity. I have to protect my values. And I have to protect my family. And the way I've been treated and disrespected, I am not having any more of it. And I've walked away. So officially, I am an independent until I return to Jamaica on the 3rd. I am leaving here tomorrow morning and I will return on the 3rd. I am tired of the disrespect and I am going no further with it. Sorry that I may have disappointed some of you in this group, because I know a lot of you, look up to me and see me as somebody you can, talk to, somebody you would like to have around. But the cup is full and my heart is overflowing and my family say I should walk and I'm walking. Sorry for the disappointment I may have caused some of you, but life goes on. Okay, each and every one.
So you're going to tell me that last night, those were the sentiments of Mr. Ennis. And you're going to tell me he spoke about his dignity, his values, and his family. He spoke about his dignity in Jamaica, his value and his family. And he said his family asked him to walk away. But did you hear what happened from last night to this morning?
I want to assure my fellow Laborites and all of my Jamaican brothers and sisters that I remain a committed member of the Jamaica Labour Party. There is no issues which may arise that we cannot settle internally. I want to thank everybody at all levels of the party for their love and support. Let us remain fully committed to the cause of working to make Jamaica a better place. God bless you.
Ennis! Come here, Ennis. Come here, Ennis. Come here. Ennis, come here. Ennis, come here, man. Come here, Ennis. Come here. So last night, Ennis said, he must protect him dignity. Pastor Belcher. Pastor Belcher, man, a long time I don't use the belt. Himself to protect him dignity, him family, and him values. And you're going to tell me, say this morning, Ennis come. You know, hear the reading sound like somebody are forcing for do something. Put up the cartoon one day for me now.
Laborites and all of my Jamaican brothers and sisters, that I remain a committed member of the Jamaica Labour Party. There is no issues which may arise that we cannot settle internally. I want to thank everybody at all levels of the party for their love and support. Let us remain fully committed to the cause of working to make Jamaica a better place. God bless you.
Ennis! I got them do to you! Ennis! Me and say Andrew call you in a high profile meeting last night. Him, Andre Franklin, what the next one name? Orius Chang, Stone Crusher Gang. And what cause you not to just withdraw, Ennis? And what is from the country? Last night, Ennis said want to protect him family, in values, and in dignity. And all of a sudden, this, you have the recording with the counselor cussing. Wanna put in the I wonder if I'm afraid Ennis get afraid after the counselor cussing. Eh? I want them afraid, and it's get afraid when the council are cussing. Let me find it there. He was forced dead. He was forced in Jamaica. You remember what? Hold on there, man. Ennis, Vietnam man, me soon take you no call. Ennis. What is spammy? Ennis. Ajay, make you catch your coward. Eh? Jai turn to sorrow. Ennis.
Let me tell you something, artist people. This really hurt me. I'm going to talk. You understand? Because I couldn't believe say any so that they do it.
Yes, Jai.
You understand? Me couldn't believe say and all the Ennis are going to say disrespect like this. And just because Ennis not get deputy mayor again. And then I get it. And if we say we are labor right, regardless of what, you not do your party this, and you not do your MP this, and you not do your constituency this, don't care where you want to say. That means say you never have the Jamaica Labour Party 2020. And we're going to go down there, go sign as mayor. And one are going to be deputy and one are going to be mayor. And two of them, the PMP, they're not sure they take the seat. And you give the blood clot PMP. Take it and give it. You give the as much as within a jail PMP. Because of the two of them, they are running there. Take it and you give the PMP. They might go for pressure. And they tell you,
oh God, die!
Regardless of why you shouldn't do the Labour Party, this and that is this. Independent blood clot.
Why you doing any?
And because of blood clot greed, you sit down there for blood clot 8 years and you pull a blood clot crowd. You understand? And
what you mean by crowd?
This is where you do the party, and you do the MP, and you do the people and minorities, and then you go find the group and you go tell the people and say, you can imagine, you take the codes, serious thing, serious blood to the Jamaica Labour Party, you take the codes like in the PMP them. You take the codes like in the PMP them. You look at them as I know. Jesus Christ, me never expect this. God know me never expect this from Ennis. Me I tell you the naughties people, me the business world who want say, but me I tell you no one to sit down and look into it.
No man.
This is wicked. This is more than wicked. You're there in the Labour Party for much years. All of we got you disrespect. All of we got you everything. And you take the seat and give to PMP to blood clot.
You
can imagine.
No, you shall cry. Hello, good night.
Andre.
Yes, good night.
Good night, Andre. Good night. So send you a video there. So send you a video why into the post.
All right, no problem. Yes, hello, good night. What you saying?
Mom, Mr. Rattigan, to listen to that note that when sent out now. He did not write that letter that he read.
Yes, I know him write it. Him just get it free to read.
You hear the tremblingness in his voice. He's sending a message. 2 messages he must send. He must send say he did not write that and he's fearful.
You think him fear for him life?
Yes, and this is going to make Andrew Holness go to prison. Listen to him breathing pattern. Listen keenly when you listen again. In breathing pattern and when he stutter on certain words. When he stuttered on certain words and his breathing pattern. And this I go send Andrew Holness to prison. And you see if they can protect Mr. Ennis, if they can grab him, if FBI then can come for him and grab him, or somebody can move him out of Jamaica real quick and put him under witness protection, him and his family. This can send Andrew Holness to prison because Ennis know a lot.
Well,
you hear me say?
I don't think so. Ennis are gonna be part of that. Me not think so. Ennis prefer come sit down and just hold him quabs. Una see a damn dog and around the country.
And Jay,
a damn dog and this is around the country.
And Jay, when the FBI or federal security after the big week then try to find the weak fence and grab the weak fence. When they grab the weak fence, guess what them do? then put a charge on them and say, if you not testify, say I will get. So they identify Mr. Ennis now as a weak fence. He's very, very weak. Listen to him breathing pattern, and he did not write what they gave him to read.
So you say he was forced?
He was forced. Listen to the man, the way he sound yesterday to the way he sound today. Listen to the words, no? How confident him sound, and he said, fuck it, excuse my French. He said, to hell with it. And now, then call him in last night. And Andrew Wallace alone threatened him, you know. Is Elka sleepy, Jody?
Oh.
Yeah, the biggest threat we can get was from the wife. From the wife.
Oh, it is allegation. I mean, I know it go, but it's a serious thing. But you know what I am saying, Jamaica? We saw yesterday the man passionate about a situation. Very upset, very angered. And to know that the man come withdraw this, you have to play the state. Play back that statement.
Oh, Mr. Rattigan. Mr. You're going to bring Mr. Rattigan for your show.
No, we have to, no, Friday night, Mr. Rattigan will dissect that. No, yes, play the one when talk this morning. And
I want to assure my fellow labor rights and all of my Jamaican brothers and sisters that I remain a committed member of the Jamaica Labour Party. There is no issues which may arise that we cannot settle internally. I want to thank everybody at all levels of the party for their love and support. Let us remain fully committed to the cause of working to make Jamaica a better place. God bless you.
Good night, Andre.
Good night, caller.
Yeah, Andre, that councillor should be the commissioner as the justice of the peace. The Minister of Justice and the councillor, the Custos Rotolorium for Kingston, St. Andrew, she should be the commissioner as the justice of the peace. That is the language that you portrayed internationally. That's
you're saying Jai Cottrell must be removed as a JP?
Yes.
But you know, so no media house carry the voice note them today. Not one media house carry the voice note today. Everybody silent on it, you know.
Yeah, because if you are just
but you see, this is what I'm talking about. This, you see why context matters. This is the same double standard I'm talking about, Courtney.
Yes.
Had it been me or anybody else will cuss them bad word there. Had it been Dennis Meadows will cuss the bad word them. It would have kept on all media station, Courtney.
It must be the commissioner as the justice of the peace. It must.
Had Warmington do it, them would have carried it. But because of favor and classism in this country.
Of course, the Custos Rotolorium of Kingston or St. Andrew must rein her in.
Is this we're talking about, Courtney? The hypocrisy in the country. The double standardness in the country. No media house carried this morning. You're the one who get the whole heap of government advertisement to condemn it. Nationwide. So if I don't care, no, I gotta tell me, say every media house, just take it so and just you see the hypocrisy in the country. Tell me if I'm a double standards, Jamaica. And a double standards. Double standards in this country. Double standards in this country. If anybody else did that, Jamaica, them would have ring it out. Said so when Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, you remember when she cussed the whole part that bad word then? Them try hide it. The hypocrisy in this country, I don't like it. I don't like the hypocrisy in this country. Play nothing. I don't see Cliff play nothing. Because if him did play it all this evening for 5 o'clock news, him would have dead on it. Let me tell you. But no, man. Them not play what? If him never play no clean version or nothing. Never play no clean version or nothing. But I know everyone we have luck in this country. Hello, good night.
Yeah, good evening, teacher.
Yes, how we do, my student?
If that man there never withdraw him something, he will be a dead man. Remember me, I tell you this.
Oh?
If that man never withdraw back his statement, he will be a dead.
You think so?
Man. We not think so, I tell you.
Oh?
But teacher, you don't see nothing yet. Watch. It go roll down a Duke Street. Nothing.
It go roll down a Duke Street.
It go roll down a Duke Street. Remember me tell you that, teacher. Remember me I tell you.
All right, you're looking forward to it.
Remember me tell you. All right.
Me just take a few more calls. What me gonna do? Me gonna carry the. Hello, good night.
Good night.
Yes, caller.
Yeah, Andre, that gentleman, life is in danger. Straight.
You think him life in danger?
Yes. Just, I'm going to give you this.
Yeah.
Back in 2008.
Yeah.
Here. You remember that man that they killed up in Stony Hill? Him and his merciless he was what the manager down by Petro Jam. And when you see the corruption that is going on down there, and go to the same people that are in charge.
Yes.
No. What I blame that man, the way that he do it, he should not have done that way.
Yeah, him should have put in the letter.
Yes. If he genuinely want to leave, he shouldn't have done that way because he know the kind of people that he are dealing with.
Yes.
And he know that the entire government is.
Well, let us see what is going to be the outcome now. Because see the mayor swearing in here has been put off. So make us see what else is going to come out of it.
It's full time for Jamaican people to put aside party and unite. Because if Jamaican don't unite, you notice what they want to do? That our ballot doesn't count anymore.
Yeah.
You see the dictatorship?
Yeah.
The dictatorship they're trying to use.
Okay, I get
Therefore, you need to unite. Put aside the business and unite and let these politicians know that enough is enough.
All right, caller. Thank you for that. All right. Hello, good night. Welcome.
Good night, teacher.
Yes, my dear.
Interesting times are ahead.
Why is interesting times are ahead?
And we should open up our eyes and take a look at what's going on. It's very obvious that Mr. Ennis was threatened because NC would not have retracted his statement.
You think I threatened them threatening?
Yes, I strongly believe he was threatened.
Who else thinks I threatened them? Courtney, you think I threatened them threatening?
Big time. Because he was speaking about the well-being of himself going forward, what his family think of him continuing in the post, and then to retract his statement the next morning.
Oh, and not even 24-hour early morning this morning from 3 o'clock into the voice note this morning, you know.
Yes.
Because when me I go on my bed, me get the voice note, you know. And me I say to myself, say, oh, Ennis for do this already.
Yes.
Oh, Ennis for do. You remember I said the woman blood pressure raising a car the way Jai Catchwell.
Yes.
That a blood pressure raise.
About his decision last night. So that just goes to show that they're covering up something.
I really want to know what them cases see them hide.
Yes, because when you take a look at Juliet, the speed where she run go up a Belmont Road with.
Oh yes, she run out of Parliament.
Yes,
not even Shelley. She beat Shelley and Fraser. I should beat Shelley and Fraser and Veronica Campbell yesterday, you know. The way she run out. And she actual magisterial recount up a Kinta. Wow! Don't a cases see so Juliet hide.
Yes, they're covering up something, hence the fight and the tug-of-war over it.
Mrs. she run out, Courtney. Suppose this she run out of the parliament yesterday when she feared church when Warmington and Daryl Vaz get off. She take up herself, run out of the parliament.
Gone up a Belmont Road. And you know, say me did surmise, say Mr. Ennis will come back and say something different. Because the speed in which you run go up there with. I was saying to myself, not no more than she gonna make one phone call and sweet up Mr. Ennis. But me never did want to talk it too early.
Sweet him. Sweet up. Me I get a call from one next student. Me have to take it, yeah?
All right, so Miss Cottrell, so you need to resign with immediate effect.
All right. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Professor. How you do?
Why me there watch how Jamaica turn upside down?
Oh, no. It was very interesting. It was very interesting last night to see the decision Mr. Ennis took in the day and then to see he has now retracted that decision. But it doesn't look good for him. Yeah? And it is somebody who I respect. Whilst I served as a junior counselor in 2010 at KCC, he was one of those counselors you could approach, where he was willing to teach you about the system. He's very, very mannered. You know, very mannered.
Very respectable.
But the position that they have put him in, I think, I believe they all guns were drawn, to use that term loosely. Yes, I believe that they whatever, because you remember that Councillor Cottrell's statement was to get your craft full.
What you mean by you get your craft full? Your belly
that he presided over 8 years, so in belly full.
Oh.
Yeah. So that is what I want the Jamaican people to see, how the Kingston and St. Andrew Jamaica Labour Party council see the KCC as.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not KCC. I wouldn't be surprised that fire reached down there. You hear me say too?
That is why. No, I said that to somebody.
I wouldn't be surprised that a fire happening in the buildings department. That documents can't fight. Courtney, I wouldn't be surprised. It's not like Courtney. A fire will reach. Hey, producer, labor right now easy now.
Remember them did burn down solid waste management.
Yes.
Management authority in 2011 when they didn't want us to hear about the carpet and about the other things, that the whole heap of scandals that was being worked there at solid waste management in 2011. So it is with their known pyromaniacs. They're known pyromaniacs. Now, one of the things I want the country to look at is if a councillor, if this man, and there's nothing that Mr. Ennis can come and say that will change what he said yesterday about the Labour Party. So there's nothing that he can, and the release from the Jamaica Labour Party, and the media is repeating that release, is disingenuous. Mr. Ennis said he was a leaked voice note when he was saying in the voice note, this is to the information media.
Yes.
So how could it be a
leaked voice note?
Yeah? And here comes the clandestine cleaner, your friend, the short neck man, who is now coming on. By the way, teacher.
Yes.
Did I tell you that Mr. Shortneck has been kicked out of his residence in North Central Clarendon, that a Jamaica Labour Party supporter tell him, take your backside out my house? Hello?
Oh, yeah. Nesta Morgan get kicked out of North Central?
Out of a house, a property that all the JLP member of parliament, including Pernell Jazz, was living at that house. Yes?
So them kick him out of the house?
Yes, and let me tell you why. The landowner, the property owner, said when he went there, a party was being had, was keeping on the premises.
What kind of party?
When he went there, all young men in skimpy jeans.
What?
No woman at the party.
What you said?
Right? There was no woman at the party, right? And the sitting
member of parliament was the one who was hosting the party on the man's premises. The man's name is Michael Cash. That's what they call him in the constituency.
Michael Cash? We are there. Yes. This is serious allegation. So you say, what you say, Nestor Morgan down there do it?
Keeping parties, but we know that.
What kind of party with what?
With all young men. Yes. Since his promotion to the office of member of parliament in North Central Clarendon, there has been quite a lot of stir with some young men from CC Clarendon College, and their advances and approaches by, I will not say by him, but by elements that are very close to him.
So what them doing at the party?
Mr. Teacher, let me repeat to you.
Impy
If
Skimpy.
you think Impy Skimpy that the owner for the property was so angry that he said, look, take your backside out my house. And so from that is why Romaine Morris was able to tell you that Mr. Morgan no longer lives in the constituency because he has no house down there.
Oh.
Which house him going to stay? Which house him going to stay when the man?
So you said from the likes of Pernell Charles and everybody stay the constituency house there?
Yes, he has a good supporter of the Labour Party there. He has always made his home available to the city member of parliament.
So me first hear this a bangarang ya.
So you never hear it over the hot topic, not tell you?
No, this one is news to me.
No, man, he was kicked out of the house. Ask anybody in your chat now who is from North Central Clarendon to say what is the war between.
Is an allegation. I don't know if it's true or false, Jamaica.
But I am telling you.
Somebody laugh. Wait. Me I get a laugh. Hold on there. Somebody wait the man. Me I answer person if I true. Mighty God.
Yeah, he has been kicked out of the country. But it is not. This is not. And we are seeing elements of this. And I've been speaking with people in North Central Clarendon. This is not something that they're accustomed to. Remember, this is deep rural bush,
Yes, them wouldn't know them impy skimpy business there.
Right, and this is a very conservative community, by the way. Yeah? No, nobody's, we don't judge people. People are free to
the people them say the man named Cash.
Yes, Michael Cash.
He's the nephew of the former councillor for the Chappleton Division.
Miss Stewart, yes, who died. Yeah.
Somebody said, we have always heard those things, but just don't pay it any attention. And what is?
Yeah. So when people walk up and down like them think with them record clean like Jesus and them want to shame people and disrespect people, just let them know that Head Boy has their file.
Oh, you have them file.
And on election day, closer to election time, I will be revealing the file. I know young men that have been approached by people who are close to him.
Oh! Right?
And he's been recruited into certain direction. And the people of North Central will not have none of that.
Oh!
Yeah? The people want their elected representatives to help them, not to solicit favors from them. That's not what you're elected to do. Yeah?
This is interesting.
That's not what you're elected to do. So maybe that is why we understand why now, and we want to ask the question, why isn't the member of parliament living in the constituency?
The member of parliament has to stay in Kingston. The member of parliament has to stay in Kingston. But all right, Head Boy, make we free up the line to give us somebody else a chance to talk, all right?
You know, good professor.
Yes.
All the best to you, my friend.
Hello, good night.
Hello, good night. I feel so Mr. Ennis, Commander Threat.
Yes.
And I feel so that him have to leave before them anything happen to him. And then postpone the mayor and wait till he will not come back to Jamaica.
Well, it's going to be an interesting time, caller.
Yes. Him on that Threat.
Okay.
All right.
Why God? What a thing in this country. What a thing in this country. What a thing in this country.
Power struggle.
House with impy skimpy.
All males.
You know what? I've never been to no impy skimpy party. I don't know what it look like. You understand? But all males, they're impy skimpy. Why? I walk one in Jamaica. Hello, good night. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good night.
Hello?
Yes.
Good night.
Yes.
Don't call my name, please. Look, I don't think that man was under. I don't think that man was under much threat. He has no spine. And we must not feed into this narrative that he's under threat, that give him an excuse to make it look right. And you know what I'm saying? Okay, somebody got to stand up. Now if he had stood up and anything happened to him, then the whole thing would open up wide to see that he was killed because of who is the killer in all of this. He had to stand up. He has no spine. How can he say something tonight and tomorrow he changed his mind to do a different thing? That's ridiculous. It is so embarrassing.
I don't know any. Okay, I hear you loud and clear.
I don't think it's right.
All right, no problem.
I don't think it's right.
All right, bless you. Tonight, Jamaica, we have a feature that I will have probably once or twice per month, where I'll get a medical doctor to join us to speak about different medical issues. Right now, joining us in studio, we have Dr. Alfred Dawes, spokesperson on health and wellness for the People's National Party, medical practitioner, surgeon, what else must I say, family man, everything that is right. Hairstylist, the man we can wash hair. You remember when him wash the ear on a plate, him say, Dr. Dawes, good night.
Good night. Nobody can run joke again, Andre.
No, but you say, is what kind of split ends?
Split ends.
So Dr. Dawes, how you treat split ends now? Tell me now.
I'm a man of many talents, man. Don't watch the lack of here.
Oh. So Dr. Dawes, greetings and welcome to the platform. Spokesperson on health, the first PMP person who have joined the program from the start of the year. So tell us now, Dr. Dawes. This month is known as colon cancer month, right?
Colon cancer awareness month.
You can speak now. Tell us about colon cancer.
Well, good evening, everyone. Let me first apologize for not being a better background. I'm doing some constituency work, and I really couldn't get away in time to get home. But that's the nature of the job.
Dr. Dawes?
Yeah, man.
No, this man serious about the constituency.
No, you see what happened, I'd promised a constituent a wheelchair, and I just never got a chance to do it. So we just dropped it off a while ago, and then made a quick stop after. So that was what really happened, why we can't get home. But I couldn't have them waiting any longer.
That's reasonable. That's fair. So you made sure to deliver the wheelchair.
Yeah. So colon cancer awareness month. This is really a time when you try to shed some light, information on the importance of colon cancer and colon cancer screening. So I always look at colon cancer as the forgotten cancer really in Jamaica. Even though it's the third leading cancer in Jamaica. We talk about breast and prostate a lot, but we forget that colon cancer, after breast and prostate, that is the cancer that is most likely to be diagnosed in men and women and more likely to kill Jamaicans. And a big problem that we have is that about 75% of all the colon cancers that are diagnosed in Jamaica are advanced.
Wow.
So we need to spread awareness. We need to
75% of those who have colon cancer are advanced
at the time of diagnosis, because we ignore the signs, and that's why it's important for us to know the signs, especially the early signs, and for us to get screened before you start to see symptoms, where you can catch the pre-cancer lesions or growths and find cancer at an early stage where it is easier to treat and less expensive. That is where we ought to be looking in terms of our health sector. More screening and preventative medicine rather than putting up fancy buildings, at a stage where people are going to have higher death rates when they're seeking health care in those fancy buildings.
So colon cancer is a cancer in the cornal, right? In the intestines?
The colon are the large intestines. So you it starts from the right side. So if you look at your belly as a picture frame, you have the small intestines that would be in the middle. That is the picture. And then the frame that goes all the way around on the outside, that is the colon, and that carries that is what really forms the stool, and it goes all the way around to the rectum and then the anus where we let it out when we go to the toilet. So anything that is where usually cancers of the stomach and the small intestines are rare, but it is the colon that traditionally has the majority of cancers of the gastrointestinal tract.
So is it based on the history that you have and the scientific studies, what sex most times carry colon cancer?
Well, it's 30 in men and 30 in women. There are certain things that gives you a predisposition. If you have a family history of colon cancer, then you're more likely to get it. If you eat a lot of processed meats, like the sausages and the smoked meats and so on, you're at an increased risk. If you drink more alcohol, you're at an increased risk again for colon cancer. But the majority of cases happen in people who just have bad luck, where you have the cancer developing without any clear risk factors. And that's why, you have this concept of a factory fault, where you just have a genetic predisposition. Because as we're talking now, Andre and viewers, we are producing cancer cells. Every day we produce cancer cells. But it is our immune system that goes around and find these cancer cells and destroy them, so it doesn't grow into cancer. Now, every now and again, you may have one of these cells, they escape the immune system, and then they start to grow, and then they start to spread. And that is how you get the advanced cancer. So it's really a function of how well your immune system really is working, and if you are producing more than the usual cancer cells based on these risk factors that you may have. But a lot of times,
what would cause you to produce more cancer cells? What are some of the things that would make you?
I think it's related a lot to our diet. Our diet has changed. Something has happened in the last 20 years, because we're seeing more and more young people getting colon cancer. And it is more of the advanced type and aggressive cancers that they're getting. So usually when you think of colon cancer, it's older people in their 60s and 70s. Now we are seeing more youngsters and I say youngsters in their 40s who are getting this type of cancer. So the older screening methods, where we say that start getting your colonoscopy at age 50 and so on, we probably have to start readjusting the age down, because so many people are getting cancer at a younger age.
So so you're saying that based on the present research, a lot of persons in their 40s and possibly 30s
are getting cancer at a younger age, We don't know why. We don't know why, but it is happening more often than we would like to say that it's just by accident. It's a trend where cancer is getting diagnosed in younger and younger people. And you have to look at famous examples like Black Panther.
Yes.
You know, the guy that played Black Panther, his name slipped me right now. But Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman, you know, people were speculating about him losing weight and all these things and didn't realize that this man, who is in his early 40s, was fighting advanced colon cancer. Now, if you come as a 40-year-old and you're saying that, you know, you have a little bit of weight loss or something, it is not the first thing on the list usually. But nowadays, as doctors, we have to be looking a lot more. And that's why knowing the symptoms are very important.
So what are some of the symptoms of colon cancer?
Well, the first thing is really blood in the stool. So a lot of times we may see blood in the stool, some bright red blood on wiping or dripping in the toilet, and we may say that we have hemorrhoids. Yes, it may be just hemorrhoids, but sometimes it is cancer in the lowest part of the colon, what you call the rectum. That is what stores the feces before it gets evacuated. Now, any painless bleeding that you're getting, whether on wiping, whether it's a little bit dripping in the toilet, or you see it coating the stool, you must check it out. Because hemorrhoids are so common that you can't just say that it is hemorrhoids that's causing it. Because I've seen many instances where people would have been treated for hemorrhoids by doctors, but they were never investigated for colon cancer, and they ended up having colon cancer. I remember one story, you know, I'd have to share. When I started to work at a new hospital, someone had come in for hemorrhoidectomy, and they were in theater and everything, and I had never met the patient before the patient went to sleep. And I said, you know, I flipped through the notes, and I saw where they hadn't done a colonoscopy. So I examined the patient, and lo and behold, there was this big tumor that was sitting right there. And all I could do at that time was a biopsy and wake them up.
Wow. Because
it had just been missed entirely. In the workup, the preparation for surgery, everybody was just saying it's just hemorrhoids. So, you know, it goes to show you that we ought to have better screening in hospitals and health centers. So just to go back to that, any blood, whether it's bright red blood or altered blood, meaning that it's coming from higher up and it's partially broken down by the bacteria. So the color of the blood might change from bright red to dark. And that may be because of a polyp, which is a precancerous lesion. So if you look at like a cherry, that is what a polyp would look like. You know, it literally grows off of the lining of the colon, hangs down. Sometimes it may bleed, and you get some amount of blood, and that bleeding polyp is a sign that you have something that is going to turn into cancer later on. Sometimes you may not get the obvious blood, and this is where tests like the FIT test come in. What that does is just like a COVID test. You know, you get a little bit on wiping, you just take a little bit of stool from the wiping, and you get a little swab. You swab the tissue, and you add a solution to it and drop it on that test like you're testing for COVID. And if it's 2 lines, it means that there's blood in the feces. Now, if you have blood, microscopic blood we call it, or occult blood that you can't really see, it means that something is going on inside of you, because the colon should not normally bleed. So if you have bleeding coming from the colon, it's either cancer, pre-cancer, where it might be hemorrhoids, internal hemorrhoids that you don't know, or it might be a condition called diverticular disease, where you have some little outpouchings, you know, like bubble wrap. You would see that on the colon. Those can bleed from time to time. Usually you see those in the elderly. About 80% of people over the age of 80 have that.
Yes.
And rarely you might have inflammation of the colon, your colitis and Crohn's, those things. But if you have blood in the stool, whether an occult blood test or obvious blood, you ought to get tested. And that's usually with a colonoscopy.
So you're saying from your first blood in the stool, see it fight, talk to the doctor.
Have to go check it out. Because you see, by the time you get to the other symptoms now, like constipation, it means that you have something. Remember, I was saying the polyp starts off by growing like a little cherry in the colon itself. So if you imagine a pipe, it is hanging off the walls of the pipe inside. When that grows and turns into cancer and grows and fills up the whole of the lining of that pipe, that is when you start to have blockage and get constipation. So what you may find is that the stool is squeezing as that hole gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And what it looks like is like goat feces, where it just has some little pebbles. Or it may be thin like a rope or a pencil.
So you're wait, the doctor does. You're saying that once you start get the features of the colon, your feces can start to look like the little goat doodle?
Look like the little goat doodle, or it start look like pencil. It just gets thin, very thin, because it is squeezing past that blockage.
Wow.
And then now you may reach a point where it is not passing completely, so everything blocked up and your belly starts to swell up. But then what happens is that the bacteria digest the feces, turns it into liquid, and you end up with diarrhea. The belly goes down, but then the constipation comes back again. So you have intermittent constipation and diarrhea.
Yes.
And that is a sign of almost a complete blockage. So people like that usually end up with emergency surgery, where they have to get the bag at the side. And a lot of times you don't reverse that bag because of the state of the public health system. Constipation, looking at that by itself. So, just to recap, the type of stool that you have. If your stool, what you said, the shape of the stool changes into ropey or pencil thin stool or goat pebbles, that is a sign, but that is usually too late. Constipation, no.
Wow.
This is something that
this is powerful information, Dr. Dawes.
Yeah, and this is why I thank you for having me tonight, because this is information that is not usually shared. Everybody knows about the annual mammogram, and everybody knows about getting the prostate test, the PSA, etc., etc. But if I ask you before tonight, how do you screen for colon cancer? The majority of people might not know at all, or they may just hear about a colonoscopy, and then let us leave it at that. But we have more sensitive things like looking for the blood in the stool from the early stages.
But
so you have to know
often do you do a colonoscopy, the colonoscopy or whatsoever?
So if you do a colonoscopy and it is clear, negative, you don't see any polyps, you don't see anything, you're good for 10 years. But if you see a polyp, the good thing is that you have some little channels in it. So the colonoscopy is like imagine about the thickness of a hose that you pass up the back passage all the way up along that picture frame going around, and you look, and it has some little channels where you can actually pick out, cut off the polyps if you see anything there, or you can do a biopsy if you see a cancer. That is not readily available in the public health system. As a matter of fact, from what I'm hearing, if you go to KPH and you're having blood in the stool, the appointment for you to get a colonoscopy would be maybe in 2025 right now. And this is when you have obvious disease. So it is no longer...
So wait, Dr. Dawes, so you're saying that if you have blood in the stool right now, I need to do that diagnosis at KPH. You have to wait a year for them to actually say so?
Yeah. Because we don't have enough colonoscopies in the public health system. So some of the hospitals, I was doing it when I was at staff, but when I left, they stopped doing it. They will do some at Cornwall, a few other hospitals, but you don't have a lot of doctors who are trained to do colonoscopies. And even when you do, you may not have the equipment to do it as well. But this is something that can really save a lot of lives, because as I said, by the time you end up doing that colonoscopy, it's usually for people who have symptoms like the massive bleeding and the blood in the stool, and by that time it's advanced disease. Now, if you are serious about screening, screening basically means you pick up the disease before you have symptoms.
Yes.
So if you start to have constipation, where the intermittent constipation and diarrhea and the stool quality changes, it's no longer screening. You're going in there to diagnose something because you know something is there. And in 75% of patients, it is advanced disease. So as
on
a country,
average,
we
though,
have to look
Dr.
at this
Dawes,
differently.
so you're saying the average man not getting any support in the public health system to do this kind of test. So how much is it in private sector? How much would it cost to do it like at your how much to do it?
All right. So my thing is kind of a different now. So because I have my own facilities, I can waive my facility fees, right?
Yes.
But I can tell you that out there in the private sector, it ranges anywhere from about $70,000 to $250,000.
What?
Yeah.
One test for $70,000 to $250,000?
Yeah. That's the problem. So you don't have people having access to that sort of thing. And that is why people will be ignored.
15,000-20,000.
Yeah. No, it's not. And it's like I said, it's not a lot of doctors offer it. So, you know, if it was a situation where it was really offered by a lot, then maybe you would start to have more facilities being competitive in terms of their pricing.
Yes.
So that is an issue. But, you know, it just goes to show you that you can't just depend on colonoscopies. No, you have other things like what you'd call the barium enemas, where you basically put up a dye up the back passage and then you take an x-ray to see if you see anything. But that is not as sensitive at all. So you'll miss a lot of the polyps, and it's not a very effective way of diagnosing early disease. The idea is that you want to get early disease so that
so early detection, so you can.
It's easier to cure and cheaper to cure. So if it is that you find a polyp, and just last week I did 2 colonoscopies because I usually go to Sava and I still do that sort of stuff there. I found some polyps which you take out and you biopsy pretty much. So when you remove the polyps, you have taken out that risk of that polyp turning into cancer because you remove it completely. You send it off and test, and then if it is that is one of those precancerous polyps, you have to repeat it next year just to make sure they're not growing back.
Yes.
But that way, you have stopped somebody from getting cancer. And there are so many patients who, when you remove that polyp, you are saving their lives without them even knowing, because in 10 years, they would have had full-blown cancer.
Yes.
Or less than that, you know.
So you're recommending that? So do you, seeing that you're in the month of colon cancer awareness, is your office doing any kind of special where you're offering it at a discounted rate?
Yeah, we're doing 20% off.
20% off?
20% off. And for the fit test, we're doing also 20% off. We also would be doing free fit tests, which is the one that checks for blood in the stool for people who can't afford it at the Kingston and Sav locations. The only thing is that...
At what location?
Kingston and Sav. Savlamar.
So you have a location in Savlamar too, Dr. Dawes?
Yeah.
So you're saying that you're offering a free blood... Explain it again so that they can get the information. Because I'm sure that some people out there would need the assistance to do the free one.
Well, so 20% off across the board. But the fit test, which is the one that you check for blood in the stool, if it is a situation where you think that you may need it, we will take it on a case-by-case basis and see how much we can assist people. I'm not just going to advertise and put it out there because when we're doing the free mammograms, we just kind of got overwhelmed. And even though we're able to do over 200 free mammograms, it really overwhelmed the office staff. So we're just doing it, you know, if you can identify one or two people, and you, Andre, can recommend them, and we get that done.
If you need to do, let me say this before you bombard Dr. Dawes' office. If you think that you want to do a free blood in the stool, send me a WhatsApp and I'll refer you to Dr. Dawes' office. All right, Jamaica? We can't overwhelm him office with 300, 400, 500 requests because Dr. Dawes, you know, when you come on this program, the people will come. But my point is, he's offering the free service to check the blood in the stool. If you have a family member and you need to get the free test done, also he has the colonoscopy for 20% off. So if he might do 100,000, it's going to be 80,000. Now, so Dr. Dawes, so you can go to him and just talk to him. Just call Andrestephen's name. Just the Andre program. You understand? He's a very good doctor and he is offering those services. Let us take a quick break with Open Up Your Eyes, and when we come back, we'll talk more with health in a minute.
Don't know. Mika, gosh, one Mikey. Tell them out there. Black Nation rise. Wouldn't think of full time. So we stop being victimized, organize and centralize. Take the shackles off your mind. Black Nation rise. Hold your head up with pride. Them no care about black lives. Now the ship up capsize. Open up your mind. Firstly, every African a queen and king. Know your past and you will know yourself with. Black man not got our color and no sin. Never trade my roots, me proud of my skin. Sin I forget the old slave master Jim. Pan back with fasting, I know them now bring them from the plantation. Nowadays a prison, hear the ancestors them singing African hymns. But we have to rise up in order to win. We have to see a floating cities and we can't sing. Call out the black leaders in our communities. We stand against injustice and stand for unity. And in action rise. Wouldn't think of full time. Do we stop being victimized, organize and centralize? Take the shackles off your mind. Black Nation rise. Hold your head up with pride. Them no care about black lives. Now the ship a capsize. Open up your mind. Freedom must come with a cost. You can't know the future if you don't know the past. You can't sight the fullness if you don't know the half. Them milk the mother cow and them want kill the calf. Check the status, it's off the grid off the graph. Look how much blocky youths them kill off the Ross. Classism, racism, black brother them a ball. We have to fight all if we back against the wall like a Bengal roll. Go back to your roots and your window on yourselves. We did that with our friends, no one time to rebel. By the KKK, no black brothers, them hang them in the suburbs, we in a projects, yo, you know see the trend. In a 2020, yo, we still a go pretend like slave master and slave bikini. They my friend, like Black Panther. Take a stance, yeah, my friend can't play cover, rise up from lions den. Reaching out to the rude boys and all the ragamuffins. You will fall for anything if you not stand for something. Black Nation rise. Couldn't think of full time. Do we stop being victimized, organize and centralize? Take the shackles off your mind. Black Nation rise. Hold your head up with pride. Let no care about black lives. Now the ship up capsize. Open up your mind.
Yes, Jamaica. Open up your eyes when it comes on to your health. The issue of colon cancer is the third leading cause of cancers in Jamaica. And we are not taking it seriously as we ought to. But Dr. Alfred Dawes has a passion for cancer treatment. Can I tell them the reason why you have that passion, Dr. Dawes? Am I at liberty to say?
Yeah, man, you can go ahead.
So Dr. Dawes, as you know, has been a medical practitioner, but his mother, Jamaica, is what has been diagnosed with cancer, and he has been very passionate over the past 10 years or more to find.
2 years now.
But 2 years now, he has grown a significant passion to find the cures and to reduce the issues impacting cancers within the body. So I know that should Dr. Dawes become our Minister of Health, there will be a significant push in cancer research and as well as a greater emphasis of the reform of cancer patients, because the wards for cancer patients in this country not looking right. And there's not much work that has really been done for cancer treatment in this country. But Dr. Dawes, should you become Minister of Health, what would you be doing for colon cancer and those things? Give us a vivid picture of what you'd be doing.
But one correction, Andre, is when.
What you say, Dr. Dawes?
When?
When you become Minister of Health.
There we go.
Oh, my sincere apologies, Honorable Minister. My sincere apologies. So, Minister in waiting, when you become Minister of Health, will there be a priority on cancer treatment?
Definitely. There will be a priority on all chronic diseases. So if you look at Jamaica's landscape in terms of healthcare, we really had a robust, going way back from slavery days, right?
Yes.
Where you had the hothouse.
What happened to Dr. Dawes? Is he there? Dr. Dawes? Hold a second, Jamaica. Can you repeat that, Dr. Dawes? We're not hearing him. Dr. Dawes, we're not hearing you. Not hearing you, Dr. Dawes. Something wrong. And that was an interesting part he was going to make. Just a moment. We're trying to get him back. Continue talking, Dr. Dawes. You hearing him? What went wrong? Let's just take a quick break and come back and see.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you now, Dr. Dawes.
Awesome.
What are you saying about the history now?
So just a little bit of history of medicine to see where we are coming from and where we are heading.
Yeah.
So from slavery, when the masters used to take care of the slaves, they used to have a visiting doctor who used to come to the different plantations. And of course, you had the herbal remedies. That is why herbal remedies are so strong in our culture. Because a lot of what happened was that the Africans, they imported that as their primary mode of treatment. Slaves used to get experimented on a lot. As a matter of fact, the smallpox vaccine was kind of developed here in Jamaica, but you'll never hear about that because what they would do is to take the pus from a slave with smallpox, put it on a blade, and use that blade to cut the skin of another slave who they wanted to develop immunity. And that was the earliest form of injection because that is what a vaccine is. You take the dead virus, which would be found in the pus, and inject it in a healthy host, and then you would have the immune system reacting to that dead virus now. So when the real virus comes, it would kill it. So that was what we had. But then there was no incentive for the masters after emancipation in 1838 to continue to have doctors provide for them. So what really happened was that you had no health care whatsoever. Only traditional medicine, or bush medicine.
Yes.
Until you had in the 1930s, when they started to burn down the sugar plantations, the strikes, the dock workers strikers, where you had the trade unions coming in, they had the commission coming out of England that looked at conditions all across the West Indies, and they said that healthcare and education ought to be prioritized for the greatly black population. It was at that time now you start to have UE being conceptualized, and then you start to have the public health system really being developed, where they looked at the greatest threats.
Yes.
That time, the greatest threats were infectious diseases such as tuberculosis, Dawes, and dengue, yellow fever, polio, all infectious diseases. So what they prioritized then were vaccinations and public health systems. So you had so many people dying from diarrhea because they didn't have public toilets, they didn't have public health inspectors, which is why you see so much emphasis being spent on food handlers, permits, and so on. And which is why what happened at Hero Circle is such a travesty of all of what was done back in the day to get us to this point where we have an adequate healthcare system.
Yes.
We're so good at mosquito surveillance, and this is where my family got intertwined with health, because my grandfather was a public health inspector, and he was very integral in moving around, educating people on mosquito breeding sites, making sure people got vaccinations, etc. Point where Jamaica was the first country in the Western Hemisphere that got rid of polio completely. We got rid of yellow fever. We got rid of malaria. We got rid of yaws. I don't even know what the yaws look like. You know, leptospirosis, conditions.
So we have been leading. We have been leading the charge in getting rid of them.
We have been leading right through. So we had one of the best public health systems in Jamaica.
But what went wrong? Where did we go wrong?
We never adapted. So we got rid of infectious diseases, and we never looked at the greatest threats that were coming: obesity, chronic diseases, and cancers.
Wow.
What has happened in the last 20 years is that the rate of childhood obesity has quadrupled. Our rate of obesity has, over the last 20 years, been increasing at 1% per year. Our rate of diabetes has gone up about 5%.
As you talk about that, the diabetes, Dr. Dawes, remember that you should take me under your wings and start treating me and all. No, you don't start.
Well, I see you start exercising and stop posting exercise videos, so I don't know what's going on.
Lord Jesus. But continue, doctor. You see, we're enough you have a doctor in your business, but continue that.
We follow you, watch your progress, you know, and then we get concerned when we don't see you doing anything. So what has happened?
Sometimes, Doctor, does the truth be told, the exercise too hard, man.
Yeah, but you have to work harder than anybody else. You just have to play with the hand that life dealt you. And you just have to work harder. Sometimes for people, especially dealing with overweight and obesity, you just have to work harder than the average skinny person, because you look at
the issue of obesity, Dr. Dawes, is a major one, and the cancer.
It is one of our greatest threats, because everything is linked. So our threats now, we have gotten rid of the chronic diseases, not completely, because every now and again we have the pneumonia. We saw what COVID did. Every now and again you have the dengue outbreaks. But our greatest...
And the malaria.
Our greatest threats are the chronic diseases, cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, and obesity, because we have to call obesity a chronic disease. When you take them individually, high blood pressure, if you are a black person on this side of the Atlantic, you are the most vulnerable person to hypertension. And there's a theory behind it. So when we're crowding the Africans into the boats the ships to come across, they were dehydrated, they never had enough water, they never fed them enough. So the ones that survived that crossing were the ones that could hold on to the salt and the water. Everybody who could not hold on to the salt and water, they died and they were thrown overboard. So everybody who made it through slavery, to every African who left West Africa and came to the Caribbean, they have a natural tendency to hold on to salt and water.
Lord Jesus.
But when you are now left in a situation where we're eating a lot of salty food, especially the fast foods, and we cook with salt and the stew peas and all of these things.
Leave the stew peas alone. Leave me and the stew peas alone, Dr. Dawes.
You're going to have to rebuke me. The corn, pork, all of these things. Saltfish, which is a part of our national dish, Ackee saltfish, we naturally hold on to salt. And what will happen when you hold on to the salt and the water? The blood pressure goes up. Which is why, if you look at white people, the hypertension, the blood pressure medication that work best for them is the one that relaxes the heart and the blood vessels. For black people in the Caribbean and in North America,
yes,
blood pressure medication that works best for them are the water tablets that gets rid of the salt and water out of the body. In West Africa, the water tablets don't work as well. So it just kind of reinforced that we have our factory fault where we are predisposed to high blood pressure, and a third of Jamaicans have high blood pressure. Of that third, half of them don't know. They think, oh, the pressure a little high, or maybe trouble with pressure, but it's all right now because I don't feel it. And that's what we call it. That's what we call it, the silent killer. Every year, 7,000 Jamaicans get a stroke, and most of that is related to high blood pressure. 2,400.
7,000.
7,000.
Every year, 7,000 Jamaicans get a stroke.
7,000.
So that means that the stroke rate in the country high then?
It's extremely high. So we talk about the murder rate and we don't talk about how many people die from a stroke. All of us know somebody who had a stroke. A lot of them don't get back to work. Some of them can't talk properly. Some of them can't move half of their body, etc. But very little is being done to educate people about how important it is with the diet and to regular blood pressure. Blood pressure checks don't cost anything, you know. We should have that in every doctor's office where you can walk in, every health center, every pharmacy. In Cuba, what they do is they have the health aides, just like how we would have the public health inspectors going around, educating people about infectious diseases, making sure that they were vaccinated when the biggest threat was for infectious diseases. Right now, we should have been retraining. So the priority is community health aides, who they're going around in communities and checking everybody's blood pressure and making sure that they're taking their tablets. That is more than when they're in hospital and they have a stroke and you have to think about CT scan, ICU, rehabilitation, all of these.
And we do have none of those in this public health system. Dr. Dawes, when you become minister, you know that I'm going to pressure you to make sure that every hospital across the island has at least 2 CT scan machine and MRI machine. I'm going to hold you to account with that.
But that is one of the things that has to be done, because you, outside of diagnosing strokes, anybody can be in a motor vehicle accident at any time. And you can't be in certain parishes and you can get no CT scan. They have to put you in an ambulance in an unstable state and send you to another hospital in another parish where a CT scan is available. Or you need a scan for diagnosis, or you get a stroke, but you can't say it's a stroke from bleeding or a blood clot, because you have to wait days for your relatives to find the money to pay for a private scan.
Yes.
Or you can't get on an ambulance, because all the ambulances are doing is to carry people to private facilities to get CT scans and MRIs. It doesn't make sense. So every hospital, at least from type C, should really have a CAT scan that is functioning and with an ultrasound. Maybe not an MRI, but at the very minimum, a CAT scan. Because we are in a country that has a lot of trauma, gunshots, stab wounds, car accidents, and we are in a country where people suffer a lot from strokes.
Strokes.
That is where we ought to be prioritizing our scanty health resources. And when you look at screening, so blood pressure checks, that's cheap to do. Checking for diabetes, about 13% of Jamaicans have diabetes. 10 years ago, it was about 15 years ago, it was about 8%. So we know that it is increasing. There are simple blood tests that you can do to see what your blood pressure control, blood sugar control has been like over the last 6 months. Something called the HbA1c. You can't be good and say, all right, you're going to take your medication just before you go in and fool the doctor. It tells you your average blood glucose level over the last 6 months. And it also tells you if you are pre-diabetic on the borderline of becoming full-blown diabetic. So that is a simple test. If you do that in your population, you can find all of the pre-diabetic people, intervene before they get full-blown diabetes with your diet and exercise and your medical advice as to how best to treat it. And then that is how you stop people from getting their feet cut off because of sugar in 10 years' time. That's how you stop half of the heart attacks, the strokes, the kidney disease, so you end up on dialysis, which is expensive. And that is a model that we have to use. And that is what I want to champion when I am in office, because it is the best spend that you can have when you're screening and educating people and having them exercise, eat right, cut out certain foods, and intervene at an early stage when the blood pressure is not too bad, when the diabetes is not too bad, when the cancer is early. And then you can have a lot more healthy Jamaicans being productive. That is how you boost productivity, and that is how you have people having better standards of living.
So you plan to really roll out a full-time program to get the health of the well-being of our nation back into check.
Right. So our healthcare system has to adjust to the threats, and the threats are chronic diseases. And that is what we have to retool the entire healthcare system to address. It should have been done 20 years ago, should have been done 10 years ago, should have been done.
So don't you think it's a bit too late?
The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. So we are looking at retooling the healthcare system, total healthcare reform, so that in 10 years' time, we're going to have a completely different healthcare system, so that we're not like some countries where you have the rate. So the rate of overweight and obesity in Jamaica is about 50%, right? Half of Jamaica.
50%?
Yeah. Half of Jamaica.
That means that we have a serious unhealthy country.
But we don't want to wait and get to the stage where, like Bahamas and Barbados, it is 70%. You have countries in the Pacific where the obesity rate is 90%. So we are bad. As a matter of fact, the Caribbean, this is the fastest growing region in the world in terms of obesity rates.
But this can't be good for the country.
So I think it's American Samoa, where it's a small island in the Pacific. Their overweight and obesity rate is like 90%. Almost everybody there has diabetes, because the diabetes and the high blood pressure and the obesity, they run together. And of course, obesity is a risk factor for a lot of cancers. And not only that, if you are obese and you get cancer, your survival is worse. Your complication rate after surgery is worse.
Wow.
All of the outcomes are worse. That is my other passion, of course, weight loss surgery and weight management. I do that.
You have to come back to talk about that, You have to come back to talk about the weight loss and the weight. Jamaica is one of the best surgeons on the island to do nobody. And it's tummy tuck.
Well, the tummy tuck and the lipo is not weight loss. Let us be clear with that.
Yeah, but in all of those things, we don't want to forget the sexy good body them. And also men who want to have abs and chest. Me see him have one friend them when transform. I don't call him name over here. But I see him have a policeman when make look like Hulk. I think Dr. Dawes, me not have to exercise. Don't me can come to you just do the things them for me. I make me get the six pack.
You all, it's best to exercise right through, but everything really starts with diet. It's just difficult because of the food choices, and it's difficult.
But food in Jamaica is very expensive, Dr. Dawes. When you become Minister of Health, you need to address the whole cost of food in this country. The healthy food must be cheaper, Dr. Dawes. That's why a lot of people in this country can't eat right.
That is true. And that is where you have to have linkages with agriculture, because vegetables should be so expensive, and you have to have better protein sources. So
yes.
if you look at something as simple as chicken, the chicken back is the #1 protein source in Jamaica. The chicken back. If you look at chicken back, it has the highest fat content and the lowest protein content out of all of the parts of the chicken.
What is that you're feeding from the days of slavery?
Because it's cheap. No,
it's not cheap anymore. Like, chicken back and chicken running the same time frame now. Cost, yes.
So, but the thing is, we can make. We have to look at how much chicken costs. Since we like chicken so much, we have to look at other protein sources like goat or beef and so on, and cheaper protein sources such as eggs. You know, the more protein you eat, the better it is for your body. The less carbs you eat, the better it is, because you're not causing a lot of insulin spikes and you're not causing a lot of weight gain, etc. The problem is that because the protein sources are so expensive, what people do is to stretch the food by putting in a whole heap of dumpling and a whole heap of rice.
Oh yes, Jamaica have enough rice, Dr. Dawes. Plenty rice.
Because it's cheaper. So you're belly full, but it's
full. And the next minister picnic carrying the plastic rice in the country.
You're not going to get me in trouble tonight, you know. But I advocate less rice rather than to import rice. We leave it at that. The portion sizes, more education, fruit.
That is something that I believe that when you become minister that you should do, is a public education campaign on all national platforms of what it should be like, what you should eat each day. I think that is something that would do well with you, demonstrating what we should eat on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, what a Sunday and a healthy Sunday dinner will look like. Because a Sunday dinner is, for many Jamaicans, a whole heap of rice, piece of chicken, one whole heap of pasta and rice and pasta as starch. Then you look, them do the fried planting, then them have the big something that Kool-Aid. So a whole classification of the whole dieting system is important, Dr. Dawes. And I think you'll have to also visit the consumption of a lot of these fast foods, Dr. Dawes. I know that is going to be a big thing too, but I think the whole heap of American invasion of the Starbucks and the Burger King and the Popeyes and the KFC, we have to talk about that, Dr. Dawes. We have to modulate how people eat in the country for us to survive.
Indeed. We have spoken a lot about moving more, but we have not really spoken about eating better. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. Even in my practice, people think that they're eating healthy, wondering why they're not losing weight. But then when you go through the diet, what they're taking in is, if they weren't exercising, they would have gone, put on so much more weight. So So that is a big part of it, public education. And it's not going to be solved with putting a tax on sodas or, labels with food and so on. Maybe you need to let people know how many calories they're getting in based on menus. But it's all going to come back down to education. And we have to find ways to make food healthier. But that is going to be a national effort. It's not just a Ministry of Health effort. We have to look at our import duties. We have to look at how we're going to boost the production of, bananas. Green banana is an excellent carbohydrate. More yam, sweet potato, and get vegetables to not have so much fluctuations in prices. If you look
at the prices, yes.
Tomato prices can go up by 1,000% at some point in time.
Yeah, because our cabbage one day was even like 600-700 a pound. Yeah. Tomatoes and those things, sweet peppers, they were expensive. We have to modulate the prices on vegetables for true, Dr. Dawes. It was really bad.
Yeah.
Government, I like you talking about a government policy and modulating the prices of food. That I think that should really be something across the board. That would, a lot of people in Jamaica would really buy into that with you as the minister, the new face of health. Hey.
But a lot of the foods that we are getting here, they're cheap because the countries that are exporting them have subsidies on them.
Yes.
So for example, the wheat, everything with bread and so on, a lot of why the flour and so on is so cheap. It's because the countries that are producing it, they give subsidies to their farmers. So why is it that we can't subsidize our own yam and cocoa and dasheen and banana, rather than listening to IMF and all of these people saying that you can't do it? Because we are importing these cheap subsidized foods, and it is causing a serious problem. You just look at, say, corn. Corn is heavily subsidized in the U.S.
Yes.
And what they do is to take that corn and make high fructose corn syrup. And high fructose corn syrup is a sweetener. And it finds its way in everything from cereals, all sorts of foods, low-fat foods, to medication. They have it in medicines.
Wow.
So when they started these subsidies on high fructose corn syrup, the same time, if you plot a graph with the increase in the consumption of high fructose corn syrup, you will see the graphs running parallel with the rate of obesity. So all of these things are interrelated. But as a small, poor country, we keep on just acquiescing, just going along with what the big boys tell us without really standing on our own feet. And that is what we need to change as a country. We need to wake up. I mean, we have traditionally been the revolutionaries, and we have really forsaken that place now in the new world order. We get back there, but it has to do, we have to get a higher conscious level to understand our history, to understand where we're coming from, to look at the threats and to see how we're going to solve our own problems, rather than waiting on external people to come and do it, rather than just giving up, throwing our hands in the air and saying that we can't do better. It's going to take a lot, but we have to start now. Because in 10 years, we don't want, when you have someone else on your show and they're proposing the same ideas that were never implemented, you're asking them if it's not too late. And at that time, you have 70% obesity rate, 20% diabetes rate, 50% of Jamaicans with high blood pressure, and the stroke rate is now 20,000 per year.
7,000 people catching stroke per year. That is really a lot. So is what causing the stroke, Dr. Dawes?
A lot of it is high blood pressure that's not managed properly. A lot of it.
Wow. High blood pressure not managed properly.
Cost anything to measure high blood pressure, really. Just for somebody to strap something on your arm and do it.
And the ladies in the blue could go around the community and do that.
Really. And then the medication, we have to find cheaper medication. There there are some medications that it can be gotten maybe like for a tenth of the price that we are, because a lot of developing countries, India, a lot of countries in Africa, they're not paying anything close to what we're paying in medication. A lot of the medications are just too expensive, and that's why people can't afford it. Or the health budget is spent on these expensive medications when it could have been put to other uses.
So you're saying that you try to find cheaper markets for medication?
It's out there, and it's something that we have no choice but to do. There are medications where we're paying $80,000 a month for treatment, and you can get that for less than $10,000. The markups, you'll hear people talk about big pharma in the US, but big pharma is still very active here in Jamaica and other developing countries. It's just that whereas it may cost 100 US, there it's costing 50 here, but you can get it in India for $1 US.
Oh, but so that means that we need to look departize with the markets in India for pharmaceuticals
and Cuba, because we have to remember Cuba is right there. Cuba has developed a lot of medicines that are even better than what we are seeing coming out of these other developed countries. So, for example, the best vaccine for COVID was the Cuban vaccine, but you would never hear anything about that. If you look at hospitalization rates for all of the strains, the Cuba had the lowest. They never had any spikes. So you would have seen, because everybody was concentrating on the spike protein and all that. The Cubans made their vaccine the old-fashioned way, which is the whole bacteria, the whole virus, sorry. So all of the mutations that happened later on with the spike protein rendered the other name brand vaccines useless. But the Cuban vaccine continued to protect Cubans. But because of geopolitics, we were
it was never featured so much to give the world.
But
so was that the vaccine you took?
I couldn't get access to the Cuba. If I could have taken the Cuban vaccine, I would have. But we just had access to it. We just chose to ignore the Cuban government's offer. I had actually gone to Cuba, and I had gone to the facilities where they had developed the vaccine. The scientists who did it, and it's when I asked these questions and they showed you the data that there was no change in hospitalization rates with the different Delta, this and that and all of that. It just showed that it was a superior vaccine. The Cubans have made a vaccine for lung cancer, where when you inject it, it boosts the immune system. Remember, I tell you that we are producing cancer cells every day.
Every day.
System that really finds them and kill them.
Yes.
But what they did was to find a vaccine. I think they made it from scorpion or venom or something like that. But they found that vaccine that boosts the immune system to target lung cancer.
Wow.
And they had very good results with it.
So when you become minister,
huh?
When you become minister, that means that you will be boosting greater relations with countries like Cuba and India.
Look, we can't just go to Cuba whenever we're short on nurses.
Yes.
And doctors. It has to be a greater relationship with them in terms of the medical technologies that they have. Because they are doing a lot of good work there, and Jamaicans tend to trust the Cubans more than a lot of, I guess you'd say the former colonizers. But we are just tapping into a small part of Cuba, of Cuba's brilliance in the nurses that we are getting here. But they have a lot of scientists and biotechnologists. They make a lot of instruments over there as well. That would be a fraction of the cost. every now and again you might find some of the biomedical engineers. They're the ones coming here and finding a lot of the broken down machines here in Jamaica, and they rebuild them.
Wow.
Because it's their culture. If you see the cars that they have there now, they're running from the 1950s, and they still know how to make carburetors.
But wow, Jamaica, what an interesting discussion tonight. But we're out of time. But I want Dr. Dawes to give the number for his office for people who want to do the surgeries or the... Can you tell us more about your practice, Dr. Dawes, and the office number? Because people asking, a lot of people have messaged me. I think about 20 persons have messaged asking for your number for the office in Savlamar and the one in Kingston. Can you just provide those information, please?
The easiest number to remember is 455-4527. And you can
455-4527.
So you can WhatsApp that number, and somebody will get you the information in terms of bookings, etc., and all of the offerings that we have.
So in Jamaica, 455-4527. Send a WhatsApp to Dr. Dawes' office. They'll respond to you. And for those who have asked to get the free blood and stool test, you can even say to them from the Andre Stephens show, and they'll be able to take it from there. Right, Dr. Dawes?
We'll try and see how many we can. I hope you don't overwhelm the office now, you know.
I can come and help to volunteer now. You can teach me how to do it.
All right, no problem.
All right.
Check your sugar to see how well you've been behaving yourself.
Huh?
And we check your sugar with the HbA1c to see how well you've been doing over the last 6 months.
All right, Dr. Dawes, we'll talk about that off the camera. Nobody persecute me now. But Jamaica, this is our future Minister of Health. His name is Dr. Alfred Dawes. Surgeon, father, hairdresser, everything you call it. But he'll be back probably before the end of the month. We're trying to have him as our resident medical doctor on the program. We'll have others to come from time to time. But we never made the issue political tonight. We'll have other times when he will have to speak on the state of affairs in the health system. But we made sure to talk about colon cancer because the truth is, Jamaica, it's the third leading cause of cancer in the country. And many of you see blood in the stool and don't know what the cause are. And he has said to you tonight, if you see it as slim as the goat doodoo, you know, say, this is high sign that you probably have it. But we are going to do early detection. And with the man like Alfred Dawes saying, issues like cancer, diabetes, and obesity will be the issues that he take on going forward. So let us take the time to have our health check, because health is wealth, Jamaica. I hope you enjoyed the program tonight. Send me a WhatsApp and let us get a feedback on the program. But Dr. Dawes, it was a pleasure you were having on the program tonight. I will see you. Get home safe now, and we'll talk again. Until then, have a blessed night. Yes, Jamaica, it was a good program. I hope you, producer and Courtney and I go to the test. Me too. Yeah, producer and I go to the test. May the producer and Courtney go into the test. Do you enjoy the show tonight? We have to look a lot in our health, Jamaica. It's a show with the most views, so we have to look at the health and take it from there. Wonderful program. Wonderful program. Wonderful program. All right. So the number for Dr. Alfred Dawes' office is 455-4527. 455-4527. There's a lot of things that I have not carried tonight, but I'll carry them tomorrow night, Jamaica. Until then, my name is Andre Stephens. This was the Andre Stephens Show. Remember to subscribe, like, click the notification bell. And remember, tomorrow night, I'll carry the interesting topics that were discussed tonight. Until then, this was the health feature on our Wednesday night program. God bless you, Jamaica.